Got it. Hi, my name is Donna, and I am truly an alcoholic. It's so wonderful to be here. I'm really happy that I agreed to speak. I haven't spoken a lot on Zoom. I used to speak a lot at in-person meetings, but I've kind of shied away on Zoom. I'm not quite sure it's my medium, so we'll see. One thing I do want to do real quickly before I begin, because I can get sidetracked pretty easily. So I want to, just for me, real quickly, I'm going to say the third step prayer because everything hinges on that for me. Um, uh, God, I offer myself to thee to build with me and to do with me as thou wilt. Relieve me of the bondage of self that I may better do thy will. Take away my difficulties, that victory over them may bear witness to those I would help of thy power, thy love, and thy will, way of life. May I do thy will always. That is the deal. That is the deal that I made with God. That is my handshake deal with God. When I forget that, I'm in trouble. I can do a lot of things, and I do a lot of things that aren't particularly by the book, and you know, a lot of people can raise their eyebrows at. But if I neglect my handshake deal with God, then I'm in trouble. So that's where I have to start every day. And I just wanted to say, just in case everybody's wondering, my sobriety birthday is March 16th, 1987. So I just had a birthday. And it seems like it's been quite a few years. But like I was telling Steve, you may not have been here, but I was in Alcoholics Anonymous for 16 years. It took me 3.5 years to finally get into the rooms, sit all the way down, and begin to listen. And when I did that, I did get sober. And a lot of wonderful things happened in 16 years. But within those 16 years, we were doing a lot of things in the meetings. We did the steps out of the 12 and 12. We read a lot of books. One of them, I think, was, I can't really remember the name of it now. It was a really popular book about finding your path in life and so on and so forth like that. We were finding our inner child. We were doing that kind of work. We were aligning our chakras. It was 1987, and there was not a lot of big book work going on. And I did not take the steps out of the big book. And I learned how to pray. I do believe that that is the one reason that I did stay sober. I prayed, and I prayed my ass off, and I stayed sober. And AA brought me a lot of wonderful, wonderful things. And in the course of 16 years, I did stay sober, and I got a lot of wonderful things, and I got further and further away from the program, and not only the program, but God. When I came to a place where I was sitting on the edge of my bed, rocking back and forth at 16 years sober, just like I was 16 years earlier while I was drunk, wondering how I was going to make it another day without killing myself, is when I heard a voice felt a sensation. I don't know what to call it. Go back to AA. And it was like, how do I go back to something I never really left? But in a sense, I did leave AA. I didn't formally leave it, but I left it. And so I started going back to meetings more regularly, started sharing with people that I felt I was slipping away somehow, which that's, the least of it. And I started being as honest as I could and got a hold of somebody who told me um, that I needed to find the answer, and the answer was in the book, and put me in touch with who Steve was talking about earlier, Don Brown. And Don Brown sat me down and we went through the book and we went through the steps. And he told me a truth that I was not aware of. And that truth was that you can sit in the rooms of AA, and if you're halfway intelligent, you can begin to speak the language. You can talk the language of AA. You can speak the jargon, and you can talk about the steps, and you can discuss the steps, and you can analyze the steps, and you can think about the steps, and you can contemplate the steps, and you can do all manner of things with the steps and never actually take the steps. And that's exactly what I did. And so he informed me that action needed to be taken and that I was not to be confusing action with activity. And that was another lesson that I had to learn. And running around doing a bunch of stuff was not action. And so action meant taking the action of the steps. And so that's what brings me to step 3, where I make the deal, where it says, I just turn it all over to you, God, because this is your deal. I don't know how to really turn everything over to you, but in the process of doing steps 4 through 9, I'm going to learn how to do that. That's the only way. If I could actually do that in step 3, then I could just do step 3 and be done with it. We would have AA be a 1, 2, 3 step program, and we're in and out. Turn my will and my life over to the care of God and be done with it. But I don't know how to do that. And so steps 4 through 9 help me learn how to do that. And in 10, 11, and 12, I get to practice it and give it away. And for me, 10 and 11 especially is the practice. Practice, practice, practice. It at first does not come naturally at all. It's something that, for me to be able to even think about doing all the steps, I should say, not all the steps, but all the different parts of step 10 and 11 are overwhelming. This thought brings us to step 10, which suggests, and by the way, suggests that, people say that this program is a suggestion. And I get this all the time from my lovely little sponsees who come in and say, well, the program is just a suggestion. And I agree with them that it is just a suggestion, but it is the only suggestion that we have here. So, if you have another way, then please go try it. But this is AA's suggestions, and it's not it's not a suggestion in the terms of I suggest you do this, but if you don't do it, you'll still get it. It's a suggestion of please do this and you will get it. But if you do not do this, you will not get it. So we continue to take personal inventory, which that's the beginning of the work, 4 and 5. We continue to set right any new mistakes as we go along, which we've just been in 9. We're still working on 9. Um, and, and we vigorously commenced this way of living as we cleaned up the past. That alone is a tall order. And I'm trying to figure out how to juggle all of that. And if I haven't been very clear on my step 3 decision that AA is first with me, then I'm still behind the wall of trying to fit AA into my life. I'm trying to live my life and fit AA in here and there. And I'm going to fail. And it's going to be overwhelming. And I'm going to say, how can people do this? There's not enough time to do that. How can I continue to take personal inventory? What does that mean? How can I, I walk in the office first thing and I know somebody looked cross-eyed at me and I know that something is going on and I'm going to have to figure out this by the end of the day. I've got that one going on. Somebody else said something to me about a work order that I did yesterday that wasn't right. And then by the end of the day, I've got a ton of stuff going on and I'm supposed to fix this by the end of the day when I've got stuff at home with the kids. I've got stuff going on with my boyfriend. I've got stuff, and now I have to go to an AA meeting. I'm supposed to have taken care of all this stuff before tonight when I'm supposed to review my day. I don't want to review my day because too much has gone on and how am I going to do that? I can't do it if I'm trying to fit that into my life. This has to be my life. And then I fit my life into AA. And then what a difference. What a difference. But it still takes practice. It's like when I was beginning to drive a car and I wanted to drive a car. I grew up in the mid valley of California, which is no transportation, no public transportation. You had a car and you drove that car as soon as you could, or you didn't go anywhere. No buses, no nothing like that. You got a car when you could drive at 15 and a half, you got your learning permit and you drove. And I wanted to desperately. But my God, and I had a only car I had was a stick shift car. Yes, I'm old. So I had a stick shift where I had to learn how to shift the clutch and everything. I have to learn how to look out of the side mirror, the rear view mirror, shift my car. I had to be sure that, I wasn't hitting anybody. I had to make sure that, I was turning at the right place, stopping at the right place, stopping, going, turning, looking, all of that. And I was like, what am I going to do? I'm going to kill myself and everybody else. And I thought, I'm never going to be able to do this. But my desire to drive was big. I had a big desire to drive and I worked at it and I practiced at it every time I got a chance. Please let me go driving. Please take me driving. Today, I can get in my car, as I'm sure you do, and half the time, if I'm going to a place that I've been to regularly, I amaze myself. I get in my car from my home and get to that place, and I'm going, oh wow, I don't even know how I got here. I've done everything. I have obeyed every traffic rule. I've done everything all at once without even thinking about it. And that is how this program can work. But I have to practice and I have to have the desire to do that. And if I have the desire to do it, let me rephrase that. If I have the desire to do that, it goes much easier. I can still practice and not have the desire to do that, folks. I have done that too. I have done this program many ways. I've been around a long time. Don't look at me as a person because I have years. Don't think I am up here. Don't think I get up every day and am on a cloud. I am not. There are days that I get up and I am on the ground and I have to talk myself into meditation. I have to talk myself into prayer. I have to talk myself into this. But if I do that, then I get the rewards of the life that I have. And the life that I have is far beyond anything that I thought I could ever have. I'm a drunk that there are days that I will be driving in West Oakland, which is a town nearby that isn't the best part of town, but I have been driving through that section of town and I will have a flashback of a memory of me walking next to a railroad track at some point in the dark, whether it's late in the evening or very, very early in the morning, with one shoe and a torn blouse, not knowing if I was coming in of a blackout or just going out of one. I don't know. I just have a vague memory of that little scene, and I don't have any other information about it because I was a blackout drunk. And I've had flashbacks of a lot of those memories of what I was like and what my life was like. And for me to have the life that I have today is nothing short of a miracle. I know that. And when I take all of that into consideration and I look at what I have today and I see that I'm being asked to do some things in order for me to have this life, it's not a cost at all. But my mind will tell me it's too much. It's too much. I don't want to do it. I don't want to continue to take personal inventory. I don't want to set right any new mistakes as I go along. But listen, it says also we have entered the world of the spirit. That's a new dimension. That's a new dimension there. That means I'm not in charge. The book talks about thought life. Thought life? My thought life. If I'm depending on me, if I'm depending on my ego, I'm going to be thinking about what you think of me. What can I do to get you to think favorably of me? What do I need to do because somehow I need your approval? When I'm thinking of my deal with God, the third step, then I'm only thinking of what I need to do because my life is God's now. And because of that, um, I have this life and I become an agent. Remember back on the pages where it tells me God has assigned me roles, and the roles that I'm assigned now are not, me looking for approval. My roles are now the actor, and the actor is a person that is given lines to say. So I say the lines God has given me. I'm the agent. God has given me agency to tell you what God has done for me. That's what I'm doing right now. And and I'm a child. I'm sitting here not in a position of authority. I'm not the parent. I'm not domineering. I'm saying I have a life that was given to me. I can't even explain how all of this happened. It was given. I didn't do anything for it. I'm not in authority here. But I also have been given power. So, yes, I am powerless, but when my will is in alignment with God, when I'm trying to tell you what God has done for me, I have power to do that. Otherwise, I don't. I don't. I would be so afraid to be sitting here talking to you that I wouldn't even be able to log on to the computer. I would just be saying, oh no, I can't do that. There's no way I'm going to be sitting there talking to all these people. I'm not going to say the right thing. I'm going to sound stupid, and I don't want to sound stupid, so I'm not going to talk to these people. But I told God before I started, I'm going to talk to these people, and if I have to look stupid and if that's your will, then I'm okay with that because I have a life God gave me, and I love that life. And if this is what is required, then this is what I'm going to do. So let me go ahead. I'm starting to get off track. This is why I have to keep the book here, because I will start talking and then before you know it, we're way off track. So let me read a little bit and then see if we can get ourselves back on track here. We have entered the world of the spirit, and then our next function is to grow in understanding and effectiveness. This is not an overnight matter. Please, oh my goodness, this takes a long time. Do not be deceived in thinking that this can happen overnight. Give yourself breaks. Do not beat yourself up. If I could say anything to anyone today, if you are trying to live the spiritual life and you fall short, wonderful. If you are trying to live a spiritual life, wonderful. Do not beat yourself up. That is the most counterproductive thing that you could do. And whatever higher power you have does not agree with that. Wherever your higher power is, whoever it is, does not agree with beating yourself up if you are trying. I can't stress that enough. And yet, I know that that's the first thing that many of us will do. Not everybody, but many of us will spend many years doing just exactly that. And I beg of you, it is futile. It is worthless. It's time wasted. Get yourself up and say, I'm doing my best. God, whoever God is, whatever God is, appreciates your effort and loves you for it. We continue to watch for selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear. These are the main things. You know, if I thought I had well, I did think I had a million things to contend with, and I don't. I have selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear, and all their little babies. That's what I have to deal with all the time, every day. This is it. Not a million things like my head starts telling me. When these crop up, we ask God to remove them. That's what I do all day long. When I walk out the door, when I see that happening, I ask God to remove them. Um, I make amends quickly when they crop up. I never understood that. It's like, quick example, walking into work. The boss says something to me, I get a resentment. Maybe I say something, maybe I don't. I walk back to my desk. If I don't say anything, I take a deep breath. I say, God, please let me be tolerant of him. Who knows? Maybe he had a bad time with his wife last night. Maybe the kids are sick. Maybe his job is in danger. I don't know. I know he's not out to get me. I know he's operating from driven by 100 forms of fear, just like me, just like me. I know that he didn't wake up in the morning and say, I wonder what I can do to ruin Donna's day as soon as she walks in the door. I have to remember that. And so my avenues are that if I said something back to him, I need to turn right on my heel, walk back, and go make an amends. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I apologize, blah, blah, blah. Or if I didn't say anything, God, I forgive him. I know I've been there, I've done that. Let me go on with my day. Over and over and over again. My day is clean. My day is clean. Yes, I got resentful. Yes, I got angry, but I took care of it. So that night when I'm doing my nightly review, it says, did I get angry? Did I get resentful? Yeah, I did, but it's gone. It's gone. Wow, what a concept. But just think, I remember, because what if I don't? And there are times when I don't do that. What if I don't do it 2 days in a row, 3 days in a row, 4 days in a row, 5 days in a row? Would you want to go out and spend a day with me? I don't think so. I don't think you would, because I'm going to be so full of crap inside of me. My head is going to be full of all of that, because we can't live that way anymore. As alcoholics, we can't have resentment. We can't live with anger. We can have it, but we need to get rid of it. We can't harbor it and keep it. It festers inside of us and causes all kinds of, it will come out in areas that we do not want it to come out in. We can't compartmentalize it. Oh, well, this is just happening over here. No, it's not happening over here. There is only one of us here. So if I do something to you, it doesn't stay right here. It happens to me too. And then it comes out over here where I don't want it to come out. We're all one. If I could really grasp that, and when I really grasp that, and I do on occasion, I could never say anything to harm anyone. And we have ceased fighting anything or anyone, even alcohol, for by this time sanity will have returned. And sanity, if I stop fighting anyone, that would be sanity. Because why would I fight anyone? If what I'm doing to you, I'm doing to me, why would I do that? We will seldom be interested in liquor. If tempted, we will recoil. Of course we would. Oh my gosh. If I think about that poor woman walking alongside the railroad tracks, not knowing whether she's coming or going, with no shoe on and a torn blouse. Where was she? What was she doing? And to think that I made the decision to take that drink stone cold sober. I wasn't drunk when I took that drink that put me there on the railroad track. We will see that our new attitude toward liquor has been given us without any thought or effort on our part. It just comes. That is the miracle of it. We are not fighting, neither are we avoiding temptation. We feel as though we've been placed in a position of neutrality, safe and protected. We've not even sworn off. The problem has been removed. It does not exist for us. This is our experience. That is how we react so long as we keep in fit spiritual condition. I did not stop myself from drinking. I did other things, such as the prayer, the meditation, the amends, the forgiveness. That I still cannot, I still am powerless over alcohol. I still am. I do not get up in the morning and say, today I choose not to drink. That is not me. I have a choice. I have a choice whether or not I turn my will and my life over to the care of God. I have a choice whether I follow the steps that take me closer to God and lead me in the direction of trying to reach out and help other people, which is my job description. Stay close to God and help others. 2 items on my job description. Other than that, that's all I have to do. The book says he will take care of everything else. Everything else means everything else, as far as I can see. But in a position of neutrality, I've come to find out, not only in as far as alcohol is concerned, but a position of neutrality of, oh my God, I finally am not having to go around trying to be someone I'm not, trying to pick up little scraps from y'all of self-esteem. Oh, do you like me? Oh, did you like that? Well, maybe I can be someone else tomorrow and maybe you'll like me then. And not ever know who I am. And what a relief. It just makes me want to cry to think of all the years in sobriety, even that I did not even know who I was and couldn't be who I was because I wanted someone else's approval so much that I just tried to imagine what you wanted me to be and then tried to be that. Now that's insanity. That really is insanity. How could anybody do that? Bill's writing on emotional sobriety. Man, that is a good one. Oh my gosh, he talks about that. It really is good. Dependence on other people instead of God. It's a good one. It's easy to let up on this spiritual program of action and rest on our laurels. What we have is a daily reprieve, I don't care how many years I have. It's daily for me. And like I said earlier, I'm not immune from waking up not wanting to do this thing. Hear me on that. People who have years are not automatically on a mountaintop. My daily practice is what saves me daily. Every day we must carry the vision of God's will. What do you want for me today, God? And I have to ask. And sometimes I forget to ask. I'm going along, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing the other. I forget to ask God, what do you want me to do? What do I say here? Where do I go? What do I do? That's all. It's so easy. And yet sometimes I forget. And I'm off doing this, doing that, forgetting. But I go to a lot of meetings. I sponsor some women. I I call people. I listen to you. I read the book. I get reminded. I don't get so far away that I can't be reminded because I will get in trouble. Um, we can exercise our willpower along these lines. See, when I'm aligned with God's will, I get power. Don't ever let anyone tell you we don't get power. We do. We get power back when it's aligned with God's will. We have power. When it's aligned with our will and our selfish will, I want this, I want that, and I want you to change, ego, self-will. We we have no business telling people to change. That's not our business. That's what self-will is. I want things to be this way, and you aren't doing it that way, and I want you to change. My God, when I think about the things in my life that I want to change about me, I would like to lose a few pounds. It's very hard. It's very hard. Now, when I think how hard that is for me to do, and yet I want to turn around and very easily say, well, he should change that for me. If he really loved me, he'd change that. Oh my God. Can I see the depth of the selfishness of that and the futility of it? And really the fatality of it. It's never going to work. And I'm going to drive him away. And I'm going to eventually, if I keep it up and if I keep going on that, I'm going to drink. That's why we can't do that. We can't have resentments. We can't hold on to anger. We have to let go. We have to have a clean slate. Oh, I'm not even going to get through with this. I think I'm out of time. I think I'm going to stop there. And I just can't believe, I just knew I was not even going to have anything to say. And I just run out of time and I'm so sorry. Thank you guys.